Welcome to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Week 6. Danny, happy Week 6.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it sounded like you watched quite a few of the games. You said you woke up on Sunday morning, and to your delight, what was going on when you woke up?
Vikings winning.
Yeah. Did you catch the start of it or the whole thing?
I woke up like 8:45.
Okay, so you missed like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you see Van Ginkel make his second pick 6 of the year?
I saw Nick Mullins play.
Play one play, right? Yeah.
It was a bad throw, but Dalvin Cook still caught it.
Or Dalvin
Or
Cook.
not Dalvin
was it
Cook. They're
Jones?
running.
Aaron
back.
Jones, I think, maybe?
Yeah,
or
and-
Chandler. I don't remember. Jones got hurt in that game.
He did?
I think midway through. So he might have caught that pass. In fact, I think he did. But yeah, boy, they were beating up Aaron Rodgers, weren't they? And you probably don't know this, but the Jets fired their coach after that game. And some people
Wow.
think that it was Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, Mr. Owner, we got to get rid of this coach. I don't like him. That would be a pretty crummy move by Rodgers if he did that, don't you think? And closer to my heart, did you see the Chicago Bears beat down of the
Oh, yeah.
Carolina Panthers? Just like what we wished for. I wanted it to be over at halftime, and it pretty much was. It was 27-7 at halftime. So Carolina didn't have much of a chance. They didn't put up a really good fight. Bryce Young even got into the game at the end. And just like you said, Caleb Williams threw 2 touchdown passes to DJ Moore, and DeAndre Swift scored. The only guy who you named who didn't score was Cole Kmet. But pretty close. I mean, that's a pretty good prediction. Speaking of predictions, I wanted to tell you that Grandpa picked an exact score right last week.
All the games.
Just one of them.
Oh.
But he got one of the games with the exact right score. He picked Houston 23, Buffalo 20, and that was the score. That's pretty good. As far as how we did last week, picking winners, you got 7 right, 7 wrong. So kind of a hard week. I got 8 right, 6 wrong. Only one better. For the season now, I have 44 wins. You have 43 wins. Pretty close. Against the point spread, though, you continue to dominate. You have a 12-game lead over me against the point spread. So congratulations. Your grandpa had a much better week than we did. He picked 11 winners, and he also did better against the point spread than we did. But what do you do? You know, we'll keep plugging away, and we'll make our guesses, and we'll hope they're right. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thursday night. That is tomorrow. Who do we have playing?
49ers, Seahawks.
Yeah, both these teams are in the NFC West. And can you believe that the Niners have already lost to the Rams and the Cardinals in the NFC West?
Mm-hmm.
So they're 0-2 against the division. It's hard to win your division if you lose the games against the teams in your division. Seattle, after a hot start, now they have 2 straight losses to Detroit and to the Giants. Oof, that was kind of surprising.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So, what's going to happen? You got any players that you think are going to shine in this one, or just want to give the score? Or?
Well, I have surprise.
A surprise. Well. Let's hear
But
it.
a close score.
Close score? Me too.
31, Seahawks,
Okay.
49ers, 29.
Wow. Sounds like it'll be a good game tomorrow night. I have a close score. Now, I heard somebody on San Francisco, it might have been George Kittle, I don't remember, but he said after losing to Arizona that this game against Seattle is like a must-win game, that they have to win it. And I think he's right because they're 2-3, Seattle's 3-2. boy, if they lose to Seattle, 3 losses in the division, they'll basically be 3 games behind Seattle for first place. I don't see it happening. I think the Niners are going to get it done, so we're different right off the bat. But a close score, I'll go Niners 24, Seattle 23. And I really thought about picking Seattle. I decided that the Niners, they just have a little more veteran experience. I think Purdy and Debo, Kittle, I think they'll get it done. Here's a nice game, another one that, well, do you get NFL Network? Do you know? Is that on YouTube TV?
I normally just go to YouTube TV and try and find it, so
Okay.
I don't know if it's on YouTube TV.
Okay. Hopefully you get this game on Sunday at 8:30 in London. What is it?
Jaguars, Bears.
So the Jags got their first win against the Colts on Sunday. They were up by about 14, and then the Colts came storming back, tied it up. Jacksonville kicked a field goal at the end. The Bears, they did exactly what they should do to a bad team like the Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a good team, you want to beat bad teams, and you want to beat them bad. And that's what they did to them. The Bears' all-time record in games in London, they've only played 2 games in London previously. They beat Tampa Bay, and they lost to the Raiders. So now they get a shot at the Jaguars, who actually play a lot of games in London. Bears going to keep it rolling, or the Jags going to get their second W? I think I can predict.
Jaguars aren't that good.
They're not that good. I think they're going to be a little tougher test than Carolina.
I think it's going to be a pretty close score.
Okay.
Bears 30, Jaguars 28.
Okay. So you've got the Jags covering the 2.5 point spread. And this might just be wishful thinking. They're not going to beat them as bad as Carolina, but I think the Bears are going to beat the Jaguars pretty soundly. I'm guessing 28 for the Bears and 17 for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
I'd be happy. And next week the Bears have a bye week, so that'd be a really nice plane ride home if you win. Okay, first of the noon games. We've got 6 games at noon.
Texans, Pits.
Texans, Patriots. Yep. Houston has the second best record in the AFC now that they beat Buffalo. But, you know, their wide receiver, Nico Collins, one of C.J. Stroud's favorite targets.
Did he get hurt?
He got hurt and he got put on injured reserve, which means he's going to miss at least 4 games. So they'll have to throw probably more to Stephon Diggs. We got another guy named Tank Dell. So they'll have to pick up the slack while Collins is out. New England, if you remember, they won week 1. Since then, 4 straight losses. And now they've benched their quarterback, Jacoby Brissett. They're going to let their rookie, Drake May, start. So if you remember...
Drake May, I remember that pick.
If you remember the draft, it went Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. 1, 2, 3. So Williams has been playing much better. Daniels has been great. And now Drake May will get his chance for the Patriots. Will Drake May get a win in his first game as a starting quarterback in the NFL? Or do the Texans win another game?
Close game.
Close game? Me too.
Not a really big close game, but pretty close.
Okay.
Texans 20, Patriots 17.
I'm very close to yours. I also have the Texans with 20 points, but I've got the Patriots with 14.
Okay.
So we both have New England covering the spread. We think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game. Okay, this one looks like a fun game, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't you think this one's a good-looking one? Yeah.
I was really thinking about this.
This is a tough one. But yeah, tell us what it is.
Commanders, Ravens.
Don't you kind of think that Jaden Daniels is like a young version of Lamar Jackson?
Yeah,
You know?
just maybe a little better.
You think Daniels is better, really?
Mhm.
Okay, because Lamar Jackson's been playing great this year. His game against the Bengals. Did you see any of that one?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. It was really close. It went to overtime. It looked like Lamar Jackson had a really bad fumble that was going to cost them. But Cincinnati missed a field goal, and then Jackson. It was a big run by Derrick Henry.
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. But I feel like Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson are kind of the new wave of quarterbacks. They're mobile, but they're really accurate passers too. Fast, super fast, which is exciting at running back because then if the play breaks down, they can just take off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas a guy like Kirk Cousins, if the play breaks down, he has to just throw it out of bounds or he gets sacked. Washington 4-1. They're like one of the surprise teams of the NFL.
Yep.
You
know what I think would be a good game?
What?
Commanders, Houston.
Yeah, I wonder if they play this year. Commanders? No, because the Commanders are going to play the Bengals.
Next week?
Well, I don't know about next week, but they'll play the whole Ravens division. So it'll be the Bengals, Steelers, and Browns. And Washington's already played the Browns. So I don't think they will. I don't think they will play the Texans this year. But yeah, that would be two young, exciting quarterbacks. Oh, well, whatever. We'll deal with it. So how do you feel about this game? You already think Jaden Daniels is better.
Really good.
Yeah, you feel good about your pick too?
30 Commanders, Ravens 28.
Wow, you've got Washington winning a road game in Baltimore. Okay. I've got a different point of view on this game.
Okay, so you're picking Ravens?
I'm going to take the safe pick. I mean, they're the favorite right now. So I'm going to go Ravens. Excuse me. Ravens 35. Daniels and the Commanders 28. So I think it'll be a one-possession game. I think it'll be close. But I think the veteran Ravens team is going to just get it done. Okay, another noon game. This one kind of looks like a blowout to me.
I think I picked...
You gotta fix something?
Okay,
Okay, tell us what the game is, and I'll start rattling off what I know
Browns,
about.
Eagles.
Okay, Cleveland's 1-4. They're not playing good defense like in 2023, and Deshaun Watson has been bad at quarterback. Philadelphia is coming off a bye week. I wonder how healthy they are. The rumor is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, their wide receiver tandem, probably both going to be back for this game.
Good.
So
I have DeAndre Swift on my...
Well, remember, Swift is a bear, but you have Smith. I know you
Oh
get
my
those.
gosh, I get them mixed up so much.
Well, DS are their initials, so I understand. But you have both Devontae Smith and DeAndre Swift, right? So, yeah, I hope AJ Brown's back because at least for right now, he is on my team. I'm not going to spoil anything. I might be trading him. I might be. But what do you know about this game?
Oh my gosh. Again, I did it wrong.
Oh, okay. You can fix it.
I picked the team that I don't think is gonna win.
Okay. You can get it right this time.
Okay. Eagles 40. Browns 30.
Big shootout. Lots of points.
40-30.
Okay. I have also got Philadelphia covering the rather big 9-point spread. The Eagles are the biggest favorite this week. Biggest, yeah. And I'm going to take Philly 27, Cleveland Browns 13. I think the Eagles, coming off their bye week, they're going to pace the team that they're better than. Here's kind of an interesting game.
Cardinals and you know who.
I'll say it for you. The Packers. Boo. Both teams won road games in California last week.
California?
Arizona surprisingly won at San Francisco. That was a shocker. And the Packers won in Los Angeles against the Rams. So, yep, both San Francisco and Los Angeles are in California. So, That's where these two teams played last week, and they got W's. Kyler Murray, here I said, oh boy, I was a moron for thinking they were playing better, and then they go and beat San Francisco. Arizona's a hard team to figure out, but the one constant, Kyler Murray is playing well. There's a guy on Green Bay, a safety, Xavier McKinney. He has an interception in each of the Packers' first 5 games. That's a pretty good start to a season. Nobody ever has like 17 interceptions over the course of 17 games. He has 5 already in 5 games. So that's the pace that he's on. I doubt he'll keep it up, but he's playing really well right now. Packers are 5-point favorites. The game is at Lambeau.
Wow. I'm not picking with my heart.
I might be.
I'm picking with you-know-who.
Okay. You're going
30-28.
30-28, green and gold. Okay, I also have a 2-point margin of victory.
But you have the Cardinals.
I'm going to go with my heart this time. Probably stupid, but Arizona is a team I can't figure out. So I'm just going to go with what I hope is going to happen. Cardinals 26, Green Bay Packers 24. Boy, I would like to see that. You know what? I forgot to talk about the teams that are on bye week. We'll get that out of the way real quick. Kansas City and Minnesota, both on bye, both undefeated, so they're going to stay undefeated another week. And then the Rams and the Dolphins have byes.
Okay.
So, man, Vikings, they just keep rolling. And the Chiefs, surprisingly, but I mean, at some point it won't.
That hard game, or they're not playing that good team.
I would say that about the Jets and about the Giants, but what about the Texans? What about the 49ers? What about the Packers?
The 49ers are pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean the Texans, boy, they spanked the Texans when they played them. So,
but the who was not so much of a surprise, I would say.
Really? Well, I kind of agree with you because I looked up the Vikings have actually had a decent record at Lambeau the last 5 years. I think they're 3-2. So maybe you're right in saying that wasn't that big of a surprise. Okay, so getting back to the Sunday slate after a quick talk about the teams with bye weeks, here's a game between teams in the NFC South.
Buccaneers and Saints.
So something happened real late in that Monday night game. You probably didn't see it. Saints and Chiefs. Derek Carr got hurt.
He did?
He hurt his oblique. Something like around the
oblique.
Oblique.
That's
yeah, I think it's this. So if it was on your right side, it would probably be hard to throw. He's going to be out for 2 weeks. Or at least 2 weeks. The quarterbacks that they have on their team, neither has ever started a game in the NFL. So, to me, the Saints look like they're in some trouble with Carr out. Tampa Bay had chances to put the Falcons away last Thursday night, and they ended up losing. Kirk Cousins threw for like 500-some yards, and Atlanta won in overtime. So both these teams need a win to try to keep pace with the Atlanta Falcons, who I think we'll talk about in the 3 o'clock games. But what do you think is going to happen in this game of NFC West or NFC South rivals?
Well.
And if you want to change your pick because Carr's out, I would allow it. But
hand over the pen,
please. You're going to take my advice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I thought you might, because these guys who play for New Orleans, I don't expect much from them in their first game. Tampa Bay's defense has not been very strong, but you put basically a rookie quarterback out there, it could be trouble for the Saints. Did you do it? Okay. What's the score that you picked?
Thank you for correcting me.
You'll get it ready. You'll get it right. Hey, at least you didn't say the score before you said the game, right?
Yeah.
At least you haven't done that yet. There, that looks right. Okay, tell the people what you have just come up with now that the Saints quarterback situation is a Nets.
20. Buccaneers 28. Saints 20.
Okay. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay also covering the point spread. I've got Tampa Bay with 28 also. But I'm not giving the Saints as many points as you did. I'm only going to give them 14. But again, we're same on the Buccaneers. So great minds think alike, I guess. Here's a game that is in the AFC South that doesn't look like a great one.
Colts Titans.
Well, Indy lost at Jacksonville without Anthony Richardson and without Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if those guys will be back, but I kind of think so. The last time we saw Tennessee, Mason Rudolph came in for Will Levis, who was injured.
I remember that guy at the end of last year when on the Steelers.
You're right. Yeah, you remember
in
the
the
playoff game?
playoffs.
He played Buffalo and they lost. And then Pittsburgh changed their whole quarterback room and Mason Rudolph ended up as Tennessee's backup. But when he came in for Will Levis on Monday night against the Dolphins a couple weeks ago, they actually started moving the ball. But
So, do you think he's gonna do good?
I think Will Levis is coming back if he's healthy.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's not good for the Titans.
See, Tennessee's in a tough spot. Mason Rudolph could maybe win them some games, but they really want to find out if Will Levis is a good quarterback because he's only in his second year. So they have to kind of decide. Mason Rudolph could give them the best chance to win, but Mason Rudolph is what he is. You want to find out if Will Levis can be, a legit starter. So I think they're going to go with Levis if he's healthy. What do you kind of think about this one? It's hard to know what to think because you don't know who the Tennessee quarterback's going to be.
Well, if it's Rudolph, I'm probably gonna get the score wrong.
Okay. You think Rudolph might win them the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm picking Colts. If Will Levis plays,
Okay.
but if Mason Rudolph plays, I'm probably not gonna get this.
So if I hear later in the week that Mason Rudolph is out, maybe we could change the pick?
Sure.
Okay.
Colts 20, Titans 17.
Okay. I've got a pretty similar score. I've got Colts 23, Titans 21. So, nail biter. And I also kind of think that if Rudolph plays, I sort of think Tennessee will get it done. Because Levis has made some boneheaded mistakes this year. The Bears game, the Packers game. And he was looking bad in that Miami game before he got hurt. Okay, there are 4 games at 3 o'clock. Which is the first?
Chargers, Broncos.
AFC West game between AFC West rivals. Denver, surprisingly, 3 wins in a row after 2 losses. And they're kind of winning with their defense. Bo Nix, after playing terrible against the Jets, actually played pretty good against the Raiders. The Chargers had a bye week. Another week for Justin Herbert to try to get healthy. Because he got a little dinged up in one of those games. And I don't even remember if he played in the Chiefs game, but he definitely missed part of the Steelers game. So he should be healthier. What's your feelings about this battle in the AFC West? Probably to play for who's the second best team in the AFC West, because we know the Chiefs are the best.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Ooh. They're the favorite. They're favored by a field goal, so that's not an upset. But it is a
But
road
I'm
team.
not. But my score isn't up by a field goal.
No. Okay. Tell us what it is.
So I have Chargers 30, Broncos 20.
Okay. Something about what Bo Nix is doing. They're making things easy for him and they're winning with defense. I think it's going to be a low scoring team because I think both these defenses are playing well. I'm going Broncos 17, Chargers 16 in a nail biter. So I think we're different on maybe 3 games. Yeah, three or four. This is a game of AFC teams.
Steelers, Raiders.
Yeah, Steelers had a hot start. Then they lost at Indy. Then they lost against Dallas, like you predicted. Smart. In the rain and lightning delayed game of Sunday night. Now they are. Russell Wilson is practicing. But he is. He's healthy enough to practice. But the coach said Justin Fields is still the starter for this next game. So we'll see if Russell Wilson ever gets on the field. I don't know. If the Steelers lose this one, they might have to make a change. Vegas is a weird team. They beat Baltimore, your Super Bowl team from the AFC, but they've lost to Carolina and Denver, who really aren't very good teams. So who is Vegas? Are they the team that can beat the Ravens, or are they the team that loses to the Panthers? This game is in Vegas. Steelers favored by a field goal. How do you see this one going down?
I got a 10-point win.
Okay.
For the Steelers.
Big.
Steelers 28, Raiders 18.
Okay. 18 would be kind of a weird score. They might go for a 2-point conversion or something. Yeah. Hey, it's good. Every once in a while you got to pick kind of something a little off kilter. I think it's going to be a little tighter. Just because the Raiders are such a hard team to figure out, I feel like, if I think Pittsburgh is going to just waste them, then the Raiders will end up playing it close. So I'm going to go Steelers 19, Las Vegas Raiders 17. Okay, these teams played a game last year near the end of the year. Teams in the NFC.
Lions, Cowboys.
Yeah, Detroit's coming off their bye week, and they're 3-1, and they need a win just to stay one game behind your red-hot Minnesota Vikings, who are 5-0. Dallas, I missed a lot of that game against Pittsburgh because it got so late, but Dallas scored a touchdown on 4th and goal with like 20 seconds left in the game to beat Pittsburgh. So it was right down to the wire.
But Pittsburgh won.
Nope, Dallas won. You picked Dallas and Dallas won it. Yeah. So it was a little bit of a surprising win for the Cowboys in Pittsburgh. These teams played a game at the end of last year where I think Detroit scored a touchdown and then they were going to go for 2 and there was a penalty on Detroit that backed them up 5 yards, and then they still ended up going for a 2-point conversion, and they didn't make it. Dallas ended up winning it.
Then it happened to the Panthers, but what happened was they went for the 2-point conversion. They missed it. There was a flag, so they got to redo it, but then they picked to do a field goal, and they got it.
Oh, okay. That might have happened. I don't remember the exact situation. But a lot of the times what they'll do is they'll go for 2, and then if they get a flag on the offense that backs them up, they'll then decide just to go for the extra point. Just because it's harder to get a 2-point conversion. It could have been. But because if you got closer, then you'd think that you'd still go for 2. You know, but you only go from the 2-yard line to the 1-yard line if it's a penalty on the defense. So but here, Detroit and Dallas, this looks like kind of an entertaining game. What do you see happening?
I'm going a 2-point win.
2-point win for your Super Bowl team from the NFC, or for okay.
Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
30 Lions, Cowboys 28.
I've got a few more points for the Motor City Kitties, also known as the Detroit Lions.
Kitties?
The Motor City Kitties, that's their nickname. Because Detroit is the Motor City, and then the Lions are, when they're bad, they're kitties. But they're good this year, so maybe I shouldn't call them kitties. Detroit 40, Cowboys 27. The last of the 3 o'clock games, this one doesn't look like the... Yeah, this doesn't look like the best of the games.
Well, I know what to think about this, obviously. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Falcons, Panthers.
Yeah, the Falcons, they're now in first place in the NFC South because they beat Tampa Bay and they beat New Orleans. So they're tied record-wise with Tampa Bay, but because they beat Tampa Bay, they're considered the first place team. And Cousins, here I said, oh man, he didn't look good in that game against, I think it was Kansas City or somebody else. But he lit it up against Tampa Bay. I think he threw 4 touchdowns and 500 yards, that's a huge number of passing yards.
That's like throwing the whole field 5 times.
Exactly. So think about that. I mean, that's a lot of yardage. I bet there have been maybe 25 guys in NFL history who have ever thrown for 500 yards. So it's a huge number. Carolina, boy, you saw against the Bears. They're a bad team. And what adds insult to injury, they're getting hurt. Their best 2 players on defense are hurt. I think their center, who snaps the ball to the quarterback, got hurt.
Who are the best 2?
Well, they've got a defensive lineman named Derek Brown, and they've got a linebacker named Shaq Thompson. They missed the game against the Bears. Another guy, Jadeveon Clowney, he's a kind of a pass rusher. He got hurt against the Bears. Don't know if he's going to play in this game against the Falcons. Why this game is featured at 3 o'clock, I have no idea, because it looks like a stinker to me. But what do you see happening?
What I think you see happening. Atlanta 30, Panthers 20.
Okay. I'm going to give Atlanta a little bigger of a blowout. We'll go Falcons 33, Carolina Panthers 16. Okay, you're probably sort of interested in this Sunday night game because you are a Bengals fan. Who is it?
A little bit. Bengals, Giants.
Man, Joe Burrow said before the Ravens game that they would have to play perfect to win the game. He had 5 touchdowns, 2 to Chase, 2 to T. Higgins, and they still lost. He threw an interception in the 4th quarter, and he said they had to be perfect. He had 1 interception, and that was 1 too many, because that allowed Baltimore to then tie the score and then win it in overtime. Since he's 1-4, I mean, that's it's almost like their season is over.
It's like the Panthers.
Yeah, it's a bad, and their only win is against Carolina. So they haven't beat anybody that's worth anything. Well, are the Giants any good? I don't know.
No.
They did have a surprising win in Seattle without Malik Neighbors. I think I called Neighbors a quarterback last week. He's a wide receiver. He's their star rookie wide receiver. He missed the game against Seattle, and the Giants still won. So Bengals favored by 3.5 points in the Meadowlands, the home field of the Giants. What do you see happening?
Well, I'm feeling Bengals. 30-28.
Okay, I also have the Giants covering the point spread. I also have the Bengals winning, and I have a similar score. Bengals 27, New York Football Giants 24. Okay, one more game, and this is kind of interesting. The Giants and Jets play in the same stadium as their home stadium. So on Sunday night, the game's going to be in the same stadium as the Monday night game. They're just going to change
Where's Buffalo?
Buffalo is in New York, but it's in like upstate New York. More like northern New York, I think, or maybe northwestern New York. But I won't spoil it. What is this game?
Bills, Jets.
So it is the battle of teams from New York, but technically the Jets play in New Jersey. And the Bills are not New York City. They're the state of New York, but it's called upstate New York.
So there's pretty much 3 teams that are from
In
New
the
York?
state of New York, yeah.
Giants, Jets, and Bills.
Yeah. The Giants and Jets are more like the New York City teams. And then if you lived outside of the city, you might be more of a Bills fan. Yeah. Buffalo, 2 straight losses after I thought they were the best team in the league after they started 3-0. And boy, they just had some terrible clock management at the end of the game. Their coach, it was a tie game. The Bills got the ball back at their own 1-yard line with like a minute left. Normally in that kind of situation, you just run out the clock and go for overtime. They let Allen just start throwing it from his end zone. Three straight incomplete passes, I think, and then a punt, and then 1 play later, Texans field goal for the win. So it was done by the coach, and the coach took the blame after it. He said, that was my fault. The Jets, coach fired. Rodgers, oh, am I hurt? Am I not? Oh, I didn't get my coach fired. You know, the guy is just, he's terrible. Let's hope the terribleness of Aaron Rodgers continues, like it did against Denver and like it did against the Vikings. Do you see Aaron Rodgers continuing to struggle, or do you see the Bills kind of keep losing?
I think that mistake by the coach, now he will learn better from it and win against the Jets.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Bills 30, Jets 20.
Yeah, that's a good coach if he can learn from his mistakes. The Bears offensive coach, I think he learned from some mistakes he made in the Colts game. Started calling better plays. So this Buffalo coach, it would be good if he can figure out, hey, at the end of a game like that, you got to play that a little differently. I agree that the Bills are going to win, and I've got another big score, kind of like you. We'll go Buffalo 24, Jets 10. So, you don't know if you have NFL Network. Oh, your mom's playing the ukulele. NFL Network, you don't know if you get it. So if you don't, you probably won't see the Bears game at 8:30 in the morning. Vikings don't play, so you'll kind of have your choice of what games to watch. I guess I'll be over later in the day to celebrate the fall birthdays, so I could maybe use my YouTube TV to pick us whatever game we want to watch.
Will we be watching the Bengals and Giants?
Well, that's the Sunday night game. So
wait, is it on Sunday?
That one's on Sunday night. So the games that we'll be looking at 3 o'clock when I'm over are probably.
It's gonna be 3 o'clock.
Yeah, probably. The games aren't that great. It would probably be Detroit Dallas is the game to watch.
How about Red Zone?
Red Zone's an awesome pick at any time. Yeah, so we'll probably watch Red Zone, and maybe we'll just kind of pay attention to the Detroit Dallas game too. But yeah, I'm excited. I think the Bears game in London, I'm hoping for a big win, so that'd be awesome. Shall we? Anything else to say before? No? Grr. All right. Thanks for watching, friends, family, supporters. We'll be back at it next week. Yeah, groove. Get your groove on, Danny.